stars, and that's who we are. We are voices. There's nothing to fear. Explode in your rear. Feel our voices.
Welcome back to Voice of the Republic. I'm Ed. That's all I got.
I am Carl.
We spared no expense here at Voice of the Republic for sound effects.
Super high-tech stuff here, folks.
The highest of techs. Oh, man.
Well, this is our Star Wars news wrap-up, roundup, whatever you want to call it. Since we've been gone, a lot of Star Wars stuff came out, so we thought we'd take an episode to get caught up since, you know, our roots are in Star Wars and you guys love it. We love it sometimes, most of the time.
Absolutely.
Except for when we hate it.
Yeah, we don't talk to those people anyway. So, yeah, but we talked enough episode 7. I think we covered most of the high points that weren't absolute bullshit. So, the other big news that, as far as Star Wars goes, has to be Rebels.
Yeah, there was a good deal of content came out San Diego Comic-Con, which honestly I forgot was even happening until like the second day when I saw people tweeting about it. That's how far removed I am from this culture anymore. It's pretty awful.
Well, you know, you're busy improving your life. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing a Jamie Baca a few years ago where I'm just like, I'm sorry, I just don't have time for this bullshit. I gotta get shit done.
That's
you
right.
know, you gotta set priorities. So
priorities. Take care of your shit.
That's right. But there was some stuff for Rebels that came out. They put out a new trailer, which was a mixed bag. You know, they're picking pieces out and they're trying to sell this. They're trying to sell the show to people like us. They're trying to sell it to Clone Wars fans. They're trying to sell it to people who might not be in the Star Wars all that much. You know, they're trying to hit all the bases. So I think in that regards, there was some stuff in the trailer I really liked, some stuff I really didn't like. So it's pretty clear that they're just trying to appeal to everyone.
Yeah, and in the light of everything that we've just talked about, and you can go back and listen to or watch the previous episode 7 talk, which we're very excited about. This, to me, Rebels is, even though it's produced by Disney, Rebels is the ghost of the Lucas regime. And not a big fan of the Clone Wars, new viewers and listeners. I never finished Clone Wars because it's, again, back to being really derivative, lazily written crap. And the Clone Wars is a property that doesn't know who its audience is. So you'll say it's for kids, so therefore don't worry about the story, but then they'll do really extremely violent things or something that seems like a mature issue, and then what? That speaks to the parents of the children that you're supposed to be entertaining and supplying toys to. It doesn't make any sense. That annoys me. I'm out. So Rebels was another take. It's an original story, original characters. We a couple weeks ago, maybe months ago, they had the character profiles out there for everybody to watch. And while I was really intrigued and very, very optimistic about these characters and where the story might head, they basically were telling everybody what to feel. Okay, so for example, Kanan, they were broadcasting that he's the Cowboy Jedi. Let us call him the Cowboy Jedi. Don't tell us. It's just like when Cad Bane. Everybody's like, oh, Cad Bane's like the best bounty hunter. Bounty hunter, Cad Bane. No, Cad Bane is shit. Cad Bane is a kid's drawing of, a Sergio Leone cowboy character, from one of his movies, but he's got one of the Cantina aliens as a face, and then they just dropped him in Star Wars. That is horrible writing, and I watched the end of a Clone Wars where they were like, Cad Bane, do you like Cad Bane? Next episode, more Cad Bane. Do you want more Cad Bane? Cad Bane, he's the best. He's the best. I'm like, when I watch him in action, he's as ineffective as every Fett has ever been. He's not good at his job. So this trailer is just basically telling you, you like Star Wars, you like this. And you're going to like this because we're telling you it's cool. So ham-handed and awful. it's just, I throw my hands up, and I was optimistic, and I saw the trailer, and I'm like, no, it's going to be more Clone Wars, and
Yeah.
I'm less interested.
And to be fair, like it is going to be more Clone Wars because the creative people behind Clone Wars are the people running the show. They might not be the people involved with the actual animation and stuff, but it's still the same, pretty much the same producing core and head writers and story editors are doing this one. So honestly, I want to hope that they're doing something different because here's the thing. I will admit, and this is one reason why I wanted to do that Clone Wars, like Carl watches each episode and then gives a critique, that sort of thing. I still might get around to it. I'm really hoping I do.
You too. I really do.
The thing is, though, is now I'm getting to the point that I'm like, I'm so busy. Do I want to subject myself to that? Like at first, like I even sold you this concept when I was telling you the concept. I was like, I'm going to be putting myself in the pain. I'm going to be doing this self-mutilation for the enjoyment of everyone else. And like now, like that does not sound appealing at all. Like I talked it up like that. And now it's just weighing on my brain. But
and you're the only reason I would watch it. Like I would probably watch a review and go, "Huh, that's pretty funny, Carl. Now I'll watch it on Netflix."
Yeah, and here's the thing is there were good episodes of the Clone Wars because I think I got like 2 seasons into it before I finally just gave up, and there was these really great episodes, but it was like 1 in 5, 1 in 7, like you would get a good episode, and I just don't think that's acceptable. Like there's other shows out there, and people will make the excuse that it's a children's show,
right?
But that's not an excuse. You know, you can make an all-age show that's really good, and adults will like it. Look at just about any DC cartoon out there. Like DC does great cartoon work. You know, they've had the Batman the animated series, the Superman animated series, Justice League Unlimited, Brave and the Bold. I mean, Batman Beyond, Static Shock. You can literally go down this list, and Marvel's even getting in on it because the Ultimate Spider-Man, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. You can do all-age stuff that an adult can, like when they're sick from work, can sit down and watch an episode or so, like when they're all out of their head on NyQuil and still enjoy it, you know? And
yeah.
but you know,
I will look at the original source material. I will cite it again and again and again. Star Wars, which came out, you know, almost 40 years ago now. 40 years ago, it was a movie that was designed by Lucas to entertain preteens, maybe younger. Oops, we accidentally caught all ages. Everybody was interested in it, and it wasn't like it didn't speak down to anyone. He just made this movie, and you either got it or you didn't, and either way, you're along for the ride. And there wasn't like, you know, shoddy writing where things had to be over-explained to you. Although actually, we know now that that's kind of how Lucas operates. He likes to talk about a lot of things and in detail. You just went on this adventure, and you didn't have time to ask questions. And it was even though it was based on classic tales, it was its own thing. And now we've got you know, just like Star Wars brand maggots eating the corpse. It's horrible.
You know what it is? It's like that animal in zoo captivity that like eats its own poo and then it throws it up and then it eats the throw up again and then it poos and it eats that poo. It's just like it's regurgitated and shit out the same thing and then retaken it in so many times. It's derivative because there was the clip. It wasn't the trailer, but there was the clip of the Inquisitor and Kanan.
Yes.
They had like a little fight, and you know, I was actually really digging it. It was you know, it had some really classic Star Wars elements in it. You had the Inquisitor like cutting off the pupil from the Master, and like oh well, your Master can't do this. Join me, and together, you know, it's derivative of Star Wars, but it works. It's the stuff that really works, and it makes for interesting conflict and story.
Yeah.
But then like right in the middle of it, and I've realized I started using Star Wars as a verb. They Star Wars'd it up. You know, it's like, you know, you're in the middle of this thing, and next thing you know, he whips out this, like, slingshot thing on his wrist. It's like, it produces the energy balls in it, you know. So at that point, I'm like, why not just have a wrist blaster? You know, it's clearly just a bolt caster, you know. Why not just have...
He's a kid.
Yeah,
and slingshots.
And exactly. They don't want their child protagonist using a gun. And also, slingshots make for better toys than just a regular toy gun because tons of little toy guns out there anyways. So, you know, like, you look at it and you're just like, it's the fucking toy. They worked the toy into, you know, it's classic 80s cartoon. And then, you know, and then the Inquisitor, I was so excited because, like, he was using his lightsaber, and it was a double-sided lightsaber with the hilt, and it's like, you know, like half circle. I was like, oh my god, they got rid of the full circle lightsaber. That was such a hideous design. They must have saw my post on YouTube, and they took it to heart. and then just right at the very end, boom, click. First off, I don't know how that's even physically possible, that this half circle turns into a full circle. Design-wise, it's just a disaster practically. I don't know what they're thinking. And then I called it. I called it day one. Exactly. I called it day one. I said, you know what? It looks like that thing's just going to spin around on there. I bet you it will. And fucking if it doesn't, just it spins around in a circle while he walks forward towards him. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would actually change your verb from Star Warsing it up because, you know, personally that offends me. But also, it's more like they Hasbro'd it up because it turned from just a simple derivative storyline, a Star Wars story based on a Star Wars story, based on a Star Wars story, and now it is just, it's like they're not even trying to hide the fact that they're a toy commercial by, yeah, that little Nerf blaster slingshot thing. And then that stupid, I mean, when I saw that lightsaber at Toy Fair, I did the same thing. I'm like, I saw it, I'm like, oh, what is that, blade spin around? That'd be stupid. Yeah, it's going to spin around. And it's, you know, people are, there's like this need to take it to the next level when it comes to stuff. Not in terms of content or writing or things that really matter, that resonate with people, but with just the set dressing, with explosions, with settings. So now that goes to, you can't just have a simple sword fight. They've got to be jumping around and flipping like gymnasts. It's got to be Cirque du Soleil with lightsabers. It's got to look like, you know, Crouching Tiger. And there's no ceiling to this thing. And now it includes lightsabers. You can't just have a simple lightsaber, because now you have Darth Maul. He's so bad, he's got a two-edged lightsaber. Still seems pretty practical. All right, I'll buy it. It's pretty badass. But once you have the double-edged lightsaber, where do you go from there? Grievous came at with 4 arms. What if this double-edged lightsaber started spinning? How do you escape that? And like you said, when you saw the design, you're like, how is that even practical? That's a dumb design. It is a dumb design. It's horrible.
Just the fact that it goes from a half circle to an open circle, that means that there has to be a joint on there. There has to be a hinge, but you don't see the hinge. And if there's a hinge on there, that means that's not a solid piece, which means it can't spin around. Like, just the practicality of it, it doesn't work. Like. No.
Carl, pay no attention to the hilt of that lightsaber.
I mean, like, just from an engineering standpoint, it doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. And then once it's spinning, what's he going to do with it? He can only hold it in front of him, because if he tries to take it, like, down through his side, he's going to cut himself in half.
I guess you just shoot him in the fucking fist, and your problems are solved.
Exactly, because that's what I'm thinking. It's like, why doesn't Kanan just go stab right in the fucking middle of his hand? Because literally all he can do is this. At this point, all he can do is left, right, up, and down. If he goes to side, or if he brings his hand down, like, no, it's done. He's lopped off a leg. He's cut himself in half. He's given himself a haircut. I mean, like, it is the least practical thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and it's so stupid. And here's the thing: it's not just someone thought it was good. There was a whole fucking committee of people that voted on this shit and said, yes. Let's do this. It's like fucking stupidity is contagious. There was a room full of people that said, let's go with this. And no one stopped to think for 5 minutes of the practical applications of it.
Not to mention, if you take it in world, the Inquisitor, they've repeated a couple times, is not Sith. I don't know what that means as far as his force powers go. He's not Sith. So therefore, to me, he doesn't have the discipline or the training or the force powers to properly wield a double-edged fucking
spinning
lightsaber, you know? And that, I mean, Kanan, yeah, he's a Jedi apparently that's on the run, and he's a truck driver now. But he should still be able to be sensitive enough to be like, oh, what am I worried about? It's just some Yahoo with a toy. Vert. Why is he a big deal?
But you know, and then clearly he uses force powers in that clip. So they lied. He is a Sith. He is a Sith. They can say he's not a Sith, but he's a Sith. Just like a Ventress. Oh, she's not a Sith. No, she's a fucking Sith. I've seen her. She has force powers. She has red lightsabers. She's a fucking Sith.
Walks like a Sith. Dresses like a Sith. Has
fights like a Sith. It's a fucking Sith.
It's a Sith.
And I think that's probably one of the things that bug me the most is just like in this universe now, there's just as many Sith as there are Jedis at this point. It's ridiculous, you know. And they just keep on popping up.
They're going to be 2 per episode.
Yeah, 2 per season, max.
Yeah, no shit. God,
it's crazy, you know. And I mean, like, of course, this is sounding like grumpy old man Star Wars cast, but I don't think it's. And people give me shit all the time, like friends and friends of friends, like, oh, you don't like Clone Wars? I don't like Clone Wars because I like good stories. I don't like derivative stuff. Just think it through, people. It's not that hard.
And you know, a lot of us, you know, at VOR here, VOR HQ, we agree the best Clone Wars stories we saw were the ones where it was actually about clones.
Yeah,
not about Anakin and Obi-Wan and Boo-hoo and oh, this one's a tribute to Alfred Hitchcock's movie. No. Just talk about the soldiers doing soldier shit. That's what the show should be.
Kind of like there was one of the very first episodes was I think it might have actually been technically the first episode was the one with Yoda with that patrol of clone troopers. Great episode, you know.
That one I enjoy it.
Or the later on they have the Citadel where it's like a bunch of clone trooper initiates, like the trainees, trying to like learn to work together as a squad and everything. Great episode. Had a good story to it. Had a good moral. You know, character development. People grew. Great story. But you know, it's like that's the 1 in 6, 1 in 7 that I'm talking about. Like for every one of those episodes, there's a shitty Seven Samurai knockoff. There's a shitty Godzilla knockoff. Like we wanted to do a giant monster. Don't do a fucking Godzilla giant monster rubber suit episode. You're Star Wars. You're better than that. Don't mix it. Don't cross the streams.
I know, but they're trying to maximize their dollar. So I mean, okay, now we've got the Cowboy Jedi on this tramp freighter and the tough talking pilot and this guy and that guy and this guy. You know, we got a big burly guy that reads books or whatever the fuck their angle is. I've never watched Firefly, but watching this now really makes me want to watch it since there is the ship and the new Jedi kid, you know, he's the chosen one. And for what I know about Firefly, that's a bit of the happening there. Oh my God. Is this going to be Firefly in Star Wars? Because it's starting to smell like it to me.
Yeah. It's like, and that was my biggest complaint all through the Clone Wars. Is like this doesn't feel like Star Wars. It feels like fan fiction.
But yeah.
And I honestly, and that's David Filoni. I'm sorry if he ever sees this. I doubt he'll ever see it. I mean, I'm sure you're a great guy, but just about everything you do reads like really shitty fan fiction to me.
And maybe that's the way Lucas trained you. Maybe it's not your fault. But just because, you know, if this guy moved on to any other property, it would probably fucking tank. Because if it's not stamped with Star Wars, and if he took the exact same approach to Lord knows any other story, and God forbid it's an original story, we've got a great idea for Cartoon Network. It's like a team of like supernatural hero teens, and one of them's a ghost, but you know they're gonna like take on like the world police that's corrupt, and yeah, Dave Filoni, you want to head that up? Sure. And then he's just gonna like look through his DVD collection and figure out how to write this fucking movie. No, you're a failure. It's just you're a yes man. You're Lucas's yes man. You're Lucas's yes man, bitch. I mean, listen to us.
Yeah, See, we're getting so angry over it. Like, this is so old school. Like, and you know, it's one of those things I've told myself I'm not going to care anymore. But when it's just dropped in your lap, it's just like, oh, it's so frustrating because it doesn't seem like it's that hard to fix. Because that's the worst part is I do want to like the Clone Wars. I really do.
I do too.
That's one reason why I love Republic Commando, because it takes place during that time period, and I think it's a really interesting time period in Star Wars. Lots of cool stuff could be going on, but then you kind of cock it all up. You know, it's like you just see so much potential in it, and you see so much effort and so much time, so much money. You're just like, why can't it be better? Like, I'm a Star Wars fan. Why can't it be better? Why can't you make something that lives up to my standards?
It doesn't take much. I mean, yeah, Republic Commando, we talk about all the time. Dark Force is still one of my favorite video games of all time. They
it
made
was
a
cheesy
book
as hell.
about it. I loved it. But they made a book about it. And now the first book based on Dark Forces about Kyle Katarn, I totally loved it. Come to learn that they contracted a guy who normally does detective novels. Once I learned that, it kind of reads like a detective novel, and it wasn't just like detective novel like Sam Spade and they just stamped Star Wars on it, but it had the mechanics, but everything else takes place in the world of Star Wars, and uses their world, but it feels real, and it's still, everything that happens is still original enough. To me, that works without being, again, derivative or just another send-up of like Maltese Falcon or anything like that. They're still fleshing out characters. They're still doing interesting things. Katarn's on a mission, but it's not the same mission as Han Solo. There's no Wookiee sidekick. There's no wisecracking droid. You know, it's not the same old bullshit. Whereas, God, all this Clone Wars crap is just going back to the well, beating the dead horse, clichéing the cliche.
And trying to get every inch of Star Wars into it. Like, you know, they want to get every inch of that Star Wars dick into that. You know, it's like they can't let any of it go. They have to have every aspect all the time. And then when it's just
seen and unseen, because that trailer alone, that trailer showed at San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, they are okay. The corpse is done, so they dug up the corpse's parents. So that's why you're seeing a lot of like Macquarie sketches. You're seeing swoops that were never created. The tough guy that read books that I was talking about, I forget his fucking name. Whatever, he's a big guy with a big gun. He's based on the original Chewbacca design. It's thrown out because it looks stupid. Hey, let's throw this in here. You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's not enough aliens and villains and worlds in Star Wars that they have to go through these, you know, Star Wars trash to make a cartoon show. I know everybody's trying to fight to get original with this property, but it needs to come out in the writing.
Yeah.
You know? You can have a writing that people fall in love with. You can do that.
Yeah. There's just so many other ways they could have went about some of the stuff. I mean, and the show's still not out. Like, who knows? We might just be catching like the worst of some of the stuff. Because, like I said, the trailer really is on both ends of that spectrum. Because there was some really cool moments in it. You know, like the whole time it's like concentrate fire on the Jedi. You know, it's like okay, like, you know, that was kind of cool to me because like we're in this universe now that there's not supposed to be Jedi. So like, you know, like these stormtroopers and this officer are kind of caught off guard. There's like, fuck, what's going on here? And that's kind of neat. You know, like I hope they play with that a lot. But you know, it's like, but then there's just like the ham-handed, like when Obi-Wan's like, maybe a new hope will rise. You're just like, and I was like, bullshit. You just put the fucking title of the movie in the dialogue.
Yeah.
I was like, could you just fucking dick slap me in the face any harder with this is original trilogy? You know, I'm like, oh my God. And you know, I know people are gonna be like, oh, I thought it was cool. It was some fan service. I was like, but you know, it's so fucking lazy. Like, if you want to do fan service, do it subtly. You know, there's ways to like wink and nod at the camera without winking and nodding at the camera.
Thank you. I don't know.
This is going way over. I think we need to put a fork in this.
Well, you know, we've been gone a while, so everybody's getting extra VOR in their stockings for summer. What? I don't know.
Christmas in What month is it? August?
Yep.
Ugh, August already.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. Here we are. Whatever. But shit, we hey, maybe you like this and you want even more. Maybe you want us to talk about Batman. Maybe you want us to interview Trace Ballou from MS23K. Guess what? We already did it. Done there. Done.
All of that. Literally all of it.
We've done it all, and we've been doing it for quite some time, so we've got a lot of backlog, you know what I'm saying? And you can check all that stuff out at www.vorradio.com.
Yes.
And I was mentally passing it off, but I'm like, I should just keep talking.
I'll be honest, I hate to say this, breaking the fourth wall here. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at our show schedule. That way I could actually say what was coming up.
Good.
So
okay, you look at that. I'll keep talking. Yeah, but hey, you can go to vorradio.com and you can get links to our YouTube channel, which maybe you're watching right now and you're already there. Great. Why don't you just click on our playlist and you can watch many more awesome things that we've done. You don't like to watch and listen, you can just listen as you run, as you shop, as you give it to your old lady or give it to your old man. We are available in the iTunes store, and we've got many, many, many shows about Star Wars and other things that you can enjoy. Let's see. We also have a very active Facebook that you can get to 24 hours a day because it's Facebook. The internet does not close like the old days, whereas TV would go to static. But there's always people on there doing cool, fun stuff, and
including us, the hosts. Or at least 2/3 of the hosts. Mike's usually not there because Mike hates the internet.
Yeah, Mike hates the internet. Sorry.
But me and Ed are there all the time. So.
Totally. We're there. We respond to you. We're always posting interesting things. People were like, "Hey, Ed, did you hear that latest Star Wars news?" I'm like, "Yeah, because my people, the Vorons, hooked me up." So
that's right.
There's a lot of great info flowing there. And feel free to leave us. We've got links to the Republicom 407-409-8749 if you're so inclined. But we'd love to hear from you. Links to any way to give us feedback. You can also leave comments right here on YouTube, like our buddy Jim Goff, who said on our Batman 1989, The Keaton Show. We didn't actually have Michael Keaton. We're working on that. Yeah, he says, hey, I love Prince, but the Bat Dance kind of makes me cringe. I understand, but I still love it. And also, we talked about Star Wars EU and the Yuzhang Vong. Very controversial topic in the world of Star Wars. And a comment from Alex Starr, who said, hey, VOR, go easy. Each galaxy has its different type of law. We're complaining about, suddenly the whale ships show up into the Star Wars world and the Yuzhang Vong can't be affected by the Force, and I call bullshit. Mm-hmm. Each galaxy has its different type of law, so the Force does not work outside the galaxy because it's in a world or a galaxy that has its own different laws. And I'm sorry, Alex, I just think that sucks.
That's just a cop-out to me. Like I'm sure that's what it says. I'm sure that's the official reasoning behind it, but that's just a cop-out for lazy writing to me.
Yep.
I mean, feel free to feel that way, just because I don't like, this is why I say it, just because I don't like the Clone Wars doesn't mean you can't like the Clone Wars. Just because I don't like the Yuzhang Vong doesn't mean that you can't like them. But that's just how we feel here. So, but we're glad you decided to chip in the conversation. I don't know if you ever see this, but we're talking to you anyways.
Yeah, and we're glad to hear it. And feel free to plead your case anytime, 24 hours a day. We love you.
Yeah. And also, Jim Goff had another thing on the Batman, which I thought was really interesting, because we were talking about how Billy D. Williams got the pay-or-play contract, and since he didn't play Two-Face, he still got paid for the job because he was in his contract. And apparently the same thing, he said the same thing happened when they cast Marlon Wayans as Robin for Batman Returns. He was in the movie past the point of a wardrobe fitting, and when he was cut out, he still got paid. So...
Nice. I did not know that.
Yeah, so you learn a little bit of something when you read our YouTube comments. I
Yes.
usually don't read YouTube comments, but I read ours because I'm kind of contractually obligated. So
That's just like that beard.
yes, just like Mark Hamill's beard. So
Awesome. Well, cool. So, what do we got next week, Carl?
next week, Mad Max, because also from San Diego Comic-Con, there was the new trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mad Max is definitely a favorite amongst the VOR staff here. We all love Mad Max. And here you go, folks. I believe it might be on Netflix now, or if it's not, it's going to be very soon. So check it out before you come and listen to our episode next week. And then tell us what you think, because I think the original Mad Max still holds up really, really well. So let us know what you think about it. So.
Yeah, and if you have the means, watch it in its original language, Australian.
Yeah, like not the over. I'm wondering if Netflix is going to be the overdubbed American accent, or if it's going to be the Australian accent one.
I don't know. I've just been. After we talked about it, I definitely went back and watched Thunderdome Friday night. That was my big Friday.
Nice.
In Thunderdome.
So yeah, definitely check us out next week. Get your Republicomms in early. That way you don't forget, assholes. So yeah, get your Republicomms in early. That way we can play them on the show. If you don't want to talk about Mad Max, still feel free to talk Star Wars since you guys didn't get it in here. So yeah, let us know. Send them in.
Yeah, we totally want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah.
So cool.
So-
Next week, Mad Max. Till then, may the Force.
Be with.
You're
Ooh. Ah.
Ah.